Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a special reading for the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and what your ancestors would like to tell you. Water signs, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, the information regarding that can be found in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Water signs, I hope that you are well. I'm going to do a short reading. You know, I always say short, but it's probably not going to be short, but I'm going to try do a short reading about what your ancestors would like to tell you. So, a word of caution, a word of encouragement, and some advice. I'm gonna show you the crystal that I have on my desk today. Well, I'm wearing Mookaite. This crystal is for lineage healing, so family issues. And the crystal that I have on my desk today is actually white howlite, and it's for grounding. It's getting back to center, getting back to who we are, and it's such a seemingly simple crystal, but it has all these kind of markings that reminded me of like a spider's webbing, and then like it made me think of like our family tree, and if you were to draw your family tree and it would kind of, you know, branch out and create an intricate network. And so that's kind of where this came from. So that's on the desk for you today. I'm going to be using two cards for this reading. The What We've Forgotten Oracle deck by Amy Miranda, which this is the first time I'm using this deck. So I'm not familiar at all with any of the cards, but that's what makes it fun, because I just read them intuitively. And as you all know, or maybe you don't, but I'm a big fan of San Tarot, and she recently started using these on her channel, and so of course, you know, I'm in awe of her and everything she does, so I was like, let me try that deck. What We've Forgotten. And then I'm just going to use the good old Rider-Waite-Smith deck for your reading. Cards have been pre-shuffled. Angel, spirits, guides, ancestors, what would you like to say to the water signs? Overall energy for the water signs. Thank you. That's funny. Number 31, which reduces to a 4, which is the Emperor card in the Major Arcana, talking about divine masculine power, control, being a boss, being a leader. The card is the element of air, and it's represented by this, what I want to say, ethereal feather. I find feathers all the time, but I just found a beautiful white feather yesterday. Maybe I should, well, I'm not going to put that feather, it's not on my desk right now, but I will grab this little tiny little feather to put on the table for your reading. But they're focusing on the element of air, and what does that mean? It means that your spirit guides or your ancestors want you to think about how you approach life through the cerebral, the rational means, the strategic angle, looking at all sides. Spirit just said being impartial, which for water signs, I'm a water sign. Being impartial, what's that? But you know, we can be objective when we don't have like too many stakes in the game. We can be totally objective. And I think there's something here where Spirit is saying that you have to just look at the facts and the figures and try not to be too emotional about anything, take anything too personally. This is resonating with me, just for some projects that I have going on, where it just requires just looking at things in black and white. And I think that's what your spirit guides are emphasizing for you today. So we're going to get 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier, caution, encouragement, and advice from your spirit guides and ancestors. Spirit guides and ancestors don't necessarily need to be the same thing. But one of my ancestors is definitely one of my spirit guides, so don't want to make it too cavalier that they can be totally interchangeable, but take it as it resonates. So, oh, wow, okay. It's got some nice cards coming out here, a few in reverse. So, the word of caution. Word of caution. This is not like, let's not be panicky or afraid about anything. It's just when I was channeling how to create the spread today, it's just, you know, if your spirit guides or your ancestors are always around, which they are, you know, they might want to just tap you on the shoulder every once in a while and say, do you think that's a good idea? So that's kind of where the sentiment is coming from. Got the Ace of Cups in the reverse. Aces bring new from spirit. It's like they're handing you this beautiful cup of love, friendship, creativity. Cups is our suit as water signs. This cup overflows, but it's in reverse, suggesting that we haven't really been in the place to receive, and the word of caution would be, why, you know, are we looking at that? And Spirit wants to bring in something truly outstanding for you, water signs. You know how I know? Wheel of Fortune. Number 10 in the Major Arcana. So Major Arcana, just as a refresher for some, Major Arcana are the first 22 cards of the tarot deck, and they denote energies that are heavily divinely guided. And I compared it in a reading that I did recently. It's like the divine is like you're walking down the street and the divine is locking arms with you and you're kind of skipping down the street together. They're right by your side, and we always have free will, but it's almost like when these divine energies come in, it's like you're asking for their help, which is fantastic. That's why they're here, to help us and protect us. Divine timing, good luck, good fortune represents Jupiter energy, which is the planet of expansion. So there could be something here that a creative endeavor, could be a relationship, could be a new friendship. Spirit just honked the horn at relationship, that they want to bring in to you. And there's hesitation on your part to accept it. Yeah, so I can understand that. There's fear in starting anything new and anything that puts us outside of our comfort zone, but it's only when we leave the comfort zone that the real growth happens. And every time I've left my comfort zone, which I haven't voluntarily left my comfort zone that often in life, but I have done it a few times, and every time I did, the up-leveling was significant, and I'm sure it's the same. You can say the same. So right now, it's almost like Spirit saying, it's coming, it's here. Your wish for friendship, love, community, family, it's here. Why don't you feel like you can grab hold of it? This is your word of caution. It's like you've been wishing and wishing and wishing. It's like now it's here. It's like, why wouldn't you grab it with both hands? What's the hesitation, Spirit? Why the caution? Well, Cancer, you showed up in your own reading in reverse. As a Cancer, I'd raise my eyebrow up at that. Chariot card in reverse. Chariot is number 7 in the major arcana. Talks about a mastery over the shadow and the light aspects of who we are. Mastery over the self. And when we have that mastery, we take the reins. Right? The shadow can encompass fear. But when we're in control, we take the reins and we drive forward. This canopy here is full of stars. Wait, what is that from? My God, it's full of stars. Is that from 2001? Maybe. That is my favorite movie, and I'm blanking. Oh my God, it's full of stars. Why am I blanking, Spirit? Why aren't you giving it to me? It could be 2001 or 2010. That actually creeps me out a little bit. But it's kind of like wish fulfillment, right? But you got this card in reverse, which talks about stagnancy, which would make sense. Which would make sense why the ace is in reverse. And here's the two cups, divine partnership, divine union, either between you and your higher self, which is fabulous because it means we're getting in touch with our intuition. And when we're in touch with our intuition, it's like we're Neo in the Matrix and we can literally create our reality. Or relationship time. Really exciting. 2 individuals coming together, clinking glasses, making the decision that we're going to be friends, that we're going to be lovers, we're going to be connected, that we're equals. This is the relationship card. Besides the lovers, this is the relationship card. I mean, higher level relationship. Right? So these are clarifying. Ace of Cups in reverse, clarifying. And then it ends, the clarifier ends with the Ace of Swords, which might as well just be this. There's lots of synchronicities. As far as I'm concerned, these are like the same card. The element of air and the Ace of Swords. Ace, that's 2 aces now in your word of caution. Do not, you have free will, but your ancestors are trying to talk to you and they're going to say, do not pass up these aces. This is the Ace of Epiphany. Like it's like a spark of inspiration. Like, oh, okay, this makes sense, right? Now, we're looking at it, feelings versus thoughts, emotions versus the kind of detached, rational side of the brain. So it makes sense, right? Because they're like, okay, if we can't appeal to you water signs, if we can't appeal to your heart right now, and maybe you have a good reason, you've been hurt, you've been healing, then let's look at it from a factual, objective perspective. I'll just give you an example. Maybe you're trying to just move forward in life with something. And it's not in any way to say that relationships should be transactional, although they are for some people. And let's say it doesn't have to be romantic. Maybe it's a business partnership. Can you make it on your own? Sure. You can do anything you want. But from a practical standpoint, if you thought about it a little bit more, maybe having a partner would make good business sense. Just having a partner in life to be able to bounce ideas off of. Doesn't have to be about money or assets or those kinds of material world things. Maybe you just need a partner in crime, right? Not literal crime. But just like a bestie or a bud that you can dream with, that you can make plans with, that you can perhaps travel with. The Chariot card is a card of travel as well. The time is now, your ancestors are saying. This is your word of caution. It's like, open your eyes or it'll pass you by. And you know, this is the argument, what is meant for you will not pass you by. But at the same time, if your stubbornness prevents it from coming towards you, and that's all they could do, right? It's just like, I almost see like your answers just throwing up their hands in the air and just being like, well, we tried. This is a good problem to have, I would say. If we had to choose problems, this is a good problem to have. Spirit's trying to bring you somebody nice, somebody caring, somebody authentic, totally authentic, that's in your vibration, that's your equal. So this is a good problem to have. We just have to open up our hearts to the possibility that we deserve it, that we can move forward with it, that we don't need to hesitate or be afraid. My crown is itching. Let's be gross, but my crown is like, it's like buzzing. What is in the encouragement, right? So I have the Hierophant in reverse, Taurus energy, number 5, and the King of Cups. Here's the King of Cups now. This is Scorpio energy. Scorpio, you showed up in your own reading. The Hierophant talks about, it's major arcana, and it talks about, well, it can talk about higher level commitment like marriage, but it can also talk about connection with the divine, but through like a third party. So they call this the Pope of the Tarot. And so it's always like we could be looking up to someone that we respect for answers, for guidance, for their religious or spiritual teachings, for their philosophy. And Spirit just wanted me to say philosophy very specifically. I don't think I've ever used that word with this card, philosophy, maybe once. Their outlook on the world, right? The encouragement is, you've perhaps asked too many people. This is the encouragement, right? It's in reverse. So it's kind of like Spirit saying you've been looking outside of yourself for answers. The answers are within. It's this maturity, this understanding of your own emotions that is the thing that needs to happen. Because in the caution, you're rejecting an outside offer. But the mature water sign, which is what the King of Cups is, would reflect upon that in a very serious way and say, am I limiting myself to the possibility that I could allow others into my life again? Is it possible for me to trust? And can we just look at things from not a surface level, but the empirical evidence? So for example, if a new friend, like let's say it's a coworker, if a new friend says, we should have dinner sometime, do they make plans to have dinner with you? Or do they just say it every time they see you? We should have dinner sometime. We should connect. Just look at the facts. Just look at the actions and the facts. Do they make plans? Do they at least try? You know, I say it sometimes to friends, but then I just become so busy. It's not that I don't want to. But again, intentions versus actions, they have to be there. So you can look at it from that vantage point while still understanding where you come from emotionally. So let's get a clarifier as to why the Hierophant is in reverse. Knight of Cups. Because you've had false offers before. Knight of Cups is in the upright, is an authentic gesture of love and friendship, and it came out in the reverse. Because I asked why the questioning, why were we searching outside of ourselves in the first place? Because we've been let down. Knight of Cups in the reverse is a total letdown. It's like being stood up on a date, or, you know, hey, we should grab coffee, it never happens. Or You know, a lot of false flirtation, and then it just ends up going nowhere. That's why. That's where the frustration comes from. So it's kind of like, well, if I've been given all of this falseness in the past, what's to say this is going to be any different? Well, when you have your eyes open, you'll realize this comes from the divine. This is just some random person, right? That's not meant for you. This is meant for you. That's why it's in the caution. It's like your ancestors are like, this is the one, this is the one. Obviously, you have to use your own discernment, right? Tarot cannot tell you what to do. But I'm just reading the cards. The fact that Ace of Cups, Chariot, Ace of Swords, 2 Cups, Wheel of Fortune, that's no joke. This is talking about relationship. We could have been talking about anything today. We could have been talking about addictions or your career, your health, whatever, but it's like, looks like love. Or friendship. Something very high level though, like soulmate level friendship. Like a bestie, like a ride or die, like that level. And the advice from Spirit. 2 cards in the reverse. 6 of Wands and the Fool. Both in reverse. 6 of Wands talks about victory. It actually is the Chariot card in the minor arcana, right? Whereas the major arcana, divinely guided energies, minor arcana, the actions that you and I take in the material world on an everyday basis. This is somebody who is being recognized for their efforts, being lauded, awarded, given promotions, sitting on high. Famous, public recognition, but it's in reverse. The Fool energy starts the tarot, major arcana number 0, and it's all about the Fool's journey, taking a leap of faith, believing that Spirit will catch us, believing that Spirit is loyal to us, that we can travel light, like without a lot of baggage, without a lot of burden, a lot of trauma. All of that's in the past. That's the Fool energy. But both of these cards are in reverse. This is the advice, right? The Spirit is saying, you know, look at where you're missing out, right? This kind of victory and movement forward requires a leap of faith. Faith in yourself, first and foremost. You can trust yourself. We can't always trust people in the world. These are facts. But the more you start to reflect, quiet the mind and listen to the epiphanies. You can start to trust yourself. What is it that you want them to jump into, Spirit? Advice, please, for the water signs. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. What is at stake here? What is the advice from Spirit? What do they want to point out to you? The potential to have it all. 10 of Pentacles is having it all. Happy home, happy life, abundance, financially, great health. It's all potential. It's in the reverse. Ask for a clarifier. What is it that you want them to know? What is it that you want them to see? That there needs to be a little bit of healthy risk-taking, right? And I'll be very vulnerable with you just as we close out the reading, which is today, for the first time in almost 5 years, I went back online to start a dating profile. I've been single for a while, and I've been going through my spiritual awakening. When you go through your spiritual awakening, you're just like, yeah, what I thought that I wanted before doesn't even come close. Because now I'm awakened, I've ascended, have a lot more going on in my life. And you want to be with somebody that can understand that, right? But I have to show the universe that I'm willing to move and I'm willing to take a leap of faith. Right? Just because I start a dating profile doesn't mean I have to go on every single date or what. It doesn't matter. It's not about that. I mean, it's a little about that. But it's about the gesture. Am I serious about wanting to find companionship? Yeah, I'm serious. How I get there, it's online dating. I mean, I've done that. You know, it's just questionable. We'd always love to meet somebody in person as equals, right? That's the ideal. Sometimes it's harder for some than others, right? That's just an example. It could be like you stepping onto the campus of a school and enrolling in a class, learning something new. Could be you having a crucial conversation with somebody that you haven't spoken to in a really long time because you miss them. Whatever it is, it's like real reflection and just looking at the situation objectively without too much emotion, without too much pride. That's your reading, water signs. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, water signs.